St. Aude from Long Island, New York. Here with you, representing Haiti. My weekend experience for you guys at the Night In is going to be so magical. I'm taking you through the various spirits and energies of Haiti. We're going to start with the sea, then we're going to head over to the mountains and the smoke, and then we're going to finish off in the city. It's going to feel like you are on the island itself. It's such a flavorful and cultural journey through one of my favorite places in the world. So the first course are steamer clams with épice butter. Épice is it's like Haitian green seasoning. It's the very base and root of all of our cooking and our food. It's a mix of aromatics like scallions, garlic, leeks, parsley, thyme, scotch bonnet pepper, a little bit of salt, and regular like dried pepper. It's just a great explosion in your mouth. And so the first course, you're going to really get that essence of Haiti, and you're also going to get the sea with these soft shell steamer clams, which are really, really native to the New England, Long Island area, which I grew up eating. And you also have a mix of some little neck clams in there also as well. So you're getting that kind of Long Island meets Haiti fusion, which basically represents me and my identity, having grown up on the island and having been enriched in Haitian culture my whole life. Also serving it with our Bonne Haitian bread, which is our hard dough style Haitian bread, which is great to sop up all that sweet and savory broth at the end of your meal. So the main course is Cybille Alimentaire, which is basically our goat served with ground provisions. Vive alimentaire in Creole is basically translates to life. Vive is life, and that's what we call our ground vegetables because they give you so much life, they give you so much energy, they fortify you. Very popular in the mountainous regions of Haiti, and they pretty much grow them up there and they bring them down to the cities and sell them on the streets in the markets. So I chose goat to pair with that because goats are very, very mountainous animals. Very sustainable, very good for you. We use it a lot in Haitian culture. This way we're doing it, I'm smoking the goat, and then we're broiling it, braising it down, and then hitting it on the grill. So you get so many various flavor buildups in that dish, and it's super, super sharp, super flavorful, and you're kind of mixing it with those ground vegetables to help like smooth out the dish. So the sauce that comes with your main course is called Cybille sauce, and it's a very spicy yet flavorful and aromatic sauce that we use a lot in Haitian cuisine. The fun thing about this sauce is the fun story that often gets told in reference to it. So there are these two tricksters, Bouki and Cybille, who are famous in Haitian legend and folklore. As a kid, I heard so many stories about them, but this one particular one is really, really special. So they're always playing pranks and tricks on each other. That's like what they do. Cybille, really great cook, is always cooking lunch. He's always preparing a meal for himself, and his friend Bouki always happens to come around the right time, like right when the food is ready, and basically eats it all up and freeloads. So having had enough one day, Cybille is like, I'm going to make something that is going to be so spicy that's going to make Bouki never want to come back and freeload and eat all my food. And the plan backfires. So he makes a spicy sauce, and Bouki comes over, and Bouki loves it. He eats it all up, and he basically runs into town to tell everyone, like, yo, Cybille's sauce is so good, you have to check it out. He's got the next best thing, like, this is amazing. And so everyone in the town, ever since then, basically referred to Cybille as his sauce, really. They forgot about the men, and they were all about the sauce. And it's one of those special things about Haitian gastronomy and culinary traditions in general, and that there's always a historical context or a fun, culturally relevant story to go along with a lot of those dishes. And something that I learned as a young kid, something that I share with my nieces and nephews, and that I hope to share one day with my kids. And so now it's something that you can share with your loved ones as well. The third and final course for dessert is Bonbon Siwo, which represents the city. I remember traveling to Haiti with my parents and walking through the streets of Petroville, where my father's from, and seeing all the street vendors selling all these great treats and snacks on the side of the road, and just wanting to eat them all and kind of grab them all. Bonbon Siwo always stood out to me because it was such a bright orange color or brown color. It's a ginger molasses cake. Made with nutmeg, cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, like all the warming spices that really represent the Caribbean sweets. So I prepared that for you with a Café du Soir rum sauce. Café du Soir is a coffee claret cocktail. claret is basically Haitian moonshine. A lot of families across the island distill it themselves, and so there's like over 100 different claret distilleries, and it's such a strong drink. I grew up smelling it, not drinking it as a kid, but smelling it and being like, staying away. So this cocktail they drink in the mountains, and you know, cab drivers drink claret with coffee and sugar and all those similar warming spices in the cake to really just kind of wake them up and give them some type of energy. So I've included that to really dress the cake. And there's also a shum-shum peanut corn brittle. Shum-shum traditionally is served as a powder or a dust. Here, I didn't really want to do it as fine, and I kept it a little thicker or chunkier so you can really kind of see and kind of get the flavors of it. But typically it's served like a dust in a little baggie, and you just basically kind of take it back, eat it, and go about your business. So Haiti's not really known for their desserts or their sweets. We're very, very much so known for our robust meats and our flavorful rices and our wonderful party style like tapas appetizers. But our desserts are really, really cool, the ones we do have, and so it was super important to keep the integrity of these desserts and try to combine them into one to give you the best representation of Haitian pastries as best as I could. My identity as a chef wasn't really a hard transition. I grew up in a Haitian household. I didn't grow up thinking I was going to cook Haitian food. I kind of started in this industry thinking like, I want to be a chef. I just really want to cook good food and serve others. And you know, I was cooking all these other types of genres. I was cooking French, I was cooking Italian, I was cooking Asian food, and I was like, man, I really want to cook Haitian food. You know, I noticed that as my parents got older, sometimes like the cultural things that we were accustomed to doing and the traditions were slipping. And I didn't want to see that happen. And so about 5-6 years ago, I decided to really stop what I was doing and focus on Haitian culture and telling the story of Haitian food. For me, growing up, I mean, I was born here. I was the only person in my family born in the United States, and so I've always existed in this duality of like not being Haitian enough and not being American enough. And so it was really important that if I was going to tell my story on a plate and share my identity with people on a plate, that I wasn't going to do the super traditional things. It's important that my food, when it hits your plate, you understand that you're getting Cybille's identity. You're getting a Haitian experience, you're getting a Haitian American experience, and then you're just getting a Cybille experience also, and that's influenced and inspired by all the other genres and people that I've worked with in the past. It has been a very like fruitful and important transition, and more Haitian Americans or people of Haitian descent are starting to embrace that and tell the same stories and cook the traditional food or kind of put their spin on the food, which is very, very important. It can't be that our food dies with our elders and that the stories die with our elders. They have to live on, and being able to really step up and do that and to kind of find creative and innovative ways to keep the integrity of the ingredients and to keep the integrity of the culture and the stories is super important, and that's basically what you're eating today, and I'm glad to be able to do that. When you're eating this menu, I want you to feel the various, the energies and the spirits of Haiti. Haiti is an island that is rooted in history, it's rooted in culture, it's rooted in love, and there's always like a saying that Haitians have this form of resilience, and that resilience doesn't only come from the island, that resilience dates back all the way to Africa, it dates back to the motherland. So it's important that when you're eating this food, that you're in the back of your head, you're thinking about all the things that make up Haiti. And yeah, you know, Haiti's had their issues, and there's tons of poverty and corruption and blah blah blah, but that's anywhere you're gonna find that. What's really important, the narrative that should be told about Haitian cuisine and culture is the richness and is the history, and that at the end of the day, the food is just delicious. And when you're eating that food, you're eating this food of Anna Kaona, you're eating the food of Toussaint Louverture and the revolution of 1791. You're eating food of our ancestors, and it's important that you remember that.